Hey everyone, my name is Erica McTanger and I am the supervisory TA for all sections of 3005-5006, so I kind of coordinate all the TAs and this laboratory, and I'm also the specific TA for your section. I'm a PhD student here at UF in the entomology department. My lab is over kind of a mirror image from the laboratory we will be in across from the bathrooms on the other side of the hall, and it's 3218, I believe, but I'm never there. So your best bet is to go ahead and email me if you want to set up an appointment or you have a question or something like that. And I'll get back to you within 24 hours. I do ask that you don't get upset if I don't get back to you in 25 minutes or in 6 hours. So I put a limit of 24 hours. If I don't respond within 24 hours, you are welcome to send me an angry note saying, "You promised me." So why am I sending you a video? I am taking my PhD qualifying exams this upcoming week, and I am not able to be in lab. That being said, one of our other wonderful TAs, Pablo Allen, is going to be running through the syllabus and maybe doing some collection curation stuff with you, whatever you guys have time for. So you will have a chance to find the laboratory, to go over the syllabus more in depth than I'm going to do with you here, to ask questions, whatever you need to do. I may pop by Thursday and just say hi, but I'm not going to be there for any length of time. Our lab location right now is 2218. If that changes to 2216, I'll let you know. But they're right by each other, so you wouldn't miss it anyway. But so plan on being there in 2218 on Wednesday. Our lab is on Wednesdays from 10:40, I think, to 12:35. So hopefully all of you watching this are here for the principles of entomology. This lab will take you through in detail. You'll get some hands-on experience with insects. You'll learn the orders. You'll learn detailed descriptions of their internal and external anatomy and physiology. We're going to look at more applied entomology, do a little research project, write some papers about it, have a discussion, go collecting. We have a whole range of things that we do in this lab. So hopefully there's something for everybody. I'd like you to take a moment the next week to think about why you're taking this lab and what you want to get out of it. A lot of you, I think, take it because it's a required life science lab. But try and think of how insects affect you and affect your life and why they're so important. And then it's my job to show you why they're so cool. In terms of how to succeed in this course, the difficulty level is not that much. It's really not that difficult. But there is a lot of work. You've probably heard from other people who have taken this class that it's time intensive, not hard, but there's a lot of work associated with it. So be prepared and use your time wisely to make sure that you get that work done. Now, it's not difficult, like I said, but the way to succeed in this class is to show up, to participate, and to get your stuff in on time. There's really not much else to it other than those factors. It's not a hard class. It's a fun class. It's a laboratory, so I will not be up here talking at you the majority of the time. In fact, this is probably the longest that I will be talking to you all at once throughout the lab. Don't hold me to that, but it may be. Our website for this lab is eLearning. You guys have probably seen it already. If not, it's lss.at.ufl.edu, and I'll take you to the eLearning site. On there, you can find assignments, the resources, which has all of our lab packets. Now, you guys don't have a textbook for this lab or a laboratory manual, but you do have laboratory packets that I expect you to print out and read. What else? So you have the grade book on there. You have announcements. We'll send announcements through Sakai. So a bunch of stuff is on Sakai. I encourage you to take a look at it and see what you can find on there. And go through the assignments and read them so you know what's expected of you. Grading. Pablo will probably go through grading in a little bit more detail, but what you need to be concerned about right now are the quizzes. The quizzes will start next week, not this coming first lab, but the second lab. You will have a quiz that's due. Your quizzes will always be due at 11:59 p.m. on Tuesday, the night before our lab. Okay, so expect them to, they'll be submitted through Sakai. Expect them to go the day before. I don't want you showing up the day of lab and turning them in. I don't want them in email. I want them to go through Sakai. So I'll be sending your first quiz out early next week or possibly late this week. So you'll have at least a week to work on the quizzes. Those quiz questions will likely come from the study materials at the end of your lab packets. So this is a way that we can get you guys to actually read the lab packets. Like I said, I'm not going to be standing up here lecturing at you, and I expect you to come in knowing some of the material, having a background, so when we do an activity, you're able to put that information to use. What else? Oh, you have an insect collection that's due. You'll have a mini collection that's due, discussion papers, and lab reports. And we'll discuss these in more detail as we get closer to the due dates. Lateness. So our doors will shut at 10:40. We have lab at 10:40. My door will shut and lock at 10:40. Do not expect to come in at 10:42 and get in. You will not be able to. If you have a class on main campus and you are going to be late, please let me know. I will need a letter from the professor on main campus detailing why you can't get there on time, or if he's holding you late, or some verification. Otherwise, I expect you to be at lab on time. Collecting equipment. You'll be receiving collecting equipment this week. I keep looking down because I've got my little notes here. But you'll have collecting equipment this week, and it'll be a box for your specimens, a net, a kill jar, a spreading board. This stuff is kind of bulky, so I suggest that you don't ride a bicycle, at least this week. If you can hitch a ride with somebody or ride a bus, that's probably a better way to get there and back. Participation. So I expect you to not just show up to lab, but to actively participate. And yes, I don't just give you the 5 points just for showing up. I really do take note of who's just sitting there and who's actually involved, who looks like they want to be there, who's trying, and who's just going through the motions. So I expect you to participate and be actively engaged in our activities. For this week coming up, there's not a whole lot you can do just going through the syllabus. Normally we do the syllabus and collection curation together. So what I'd like you to do for week 2 is bring in a specimen. So week 1, Pablo will be going over lab policy. You'll get your collecting supplies. Please tell him to show you where you can charge your jars. You can charge your jars with ethyl acetate, which is our killing agent. And then I expect you to go out and kill something. Now, you probably don't hear that from your professors too often, but go out and find at least one insect specimen that you can use for the following week. To store it once it's dead, you'll give it about 15 minutes. Put it in a Ziploc bag or a Tupperware and put it in your freezer. If any of you live with a roommate, please verify with your roommate that they're okay with this, or maybe they don't have a choice, but tell them at least so they're not a little shocked when they open up a Tupperware thinking it's like, old lasagna or something and they come up with a cockroach. So it's probably just, fair to let them know what you're doing. And then you can bring it to class. By the time you get to class, it'll be unfrozen, and hopefully I can use some of your specimens to review how to collect, or not how to collect, how to curate some of these insects. So that will be your participation points for the first week of class. So get your collecting materials, go collecting, catch at least one specimen, kill it, freeze it, bring it to lab on the second week of lab for external morphology, and then we can talk about how to curate. So I think that's all I've got for you guys. Pablo, like I said, will be going through in more detail what the syllabus is all about, and then we can catch up on week 2. So I hope to see you soon.